Hello, everyone. Hope all of you guys are doing well. I am doing well, just so you know. And today I'm here with a very special guest, Prabodh. And I would love if he could introduce himself so we can kickstart this interview.
Yes, well, as you said, I'm Prabodh Mistry. I'm based in England and near Oxford. Currently, I'm on travel, so I'm in a different environment to where where I normally am. Um, I am an environmental consultant, um, having dealt with at my degree level, chemical engineering. At PhD level, it was biochemical engineering. And since then, I've been working in the environment to do with waste management, to do with environmental aspects of so many aspects of pollution, water pollution, air pollution, solid waste pollution, and all of that. And I have worked in so many different areas as well as different countries around the world as well. So China, Middle East, Central and Eastern Europe, India, Kazakhstan, and places like that. The country I haven't been to is Pakistan, by the way, which is I think where you're based. Uh,
Yes, I'm,
So
I'm
so
based in
in
Pakistan.
yes, which city are you based in?
I keep on moving. So like right now I'm in the capital, Islamabad, but I was born somewhere and then I was raised all over. So
Okay, good.
yeah. And okay, so what you're doing sounds really interesting, but let's begin from like sort of the beginning. How was your early childhood? Because you told me that it was in India, the early childhood. So how was it? And where in India was it?
Yes, yes, sure. Well, my I was born in Tanzania, Dar es Salaam, but at the age of 4, as a family, we all moved to India in Gujarat, a place near Navsari. And so I was there from the age of 4 to 12. And so I've had my primary school education there, but then I came to UK in 1970. And the thing about that is I couldn't speak a word of English at the time, and I came to England. And so it was very, very difficult. So, I would say that at your age, you're 14 at the moment. Uh, at the age of 14, I was really struggling with all the schoolwork because I was having to catch up on English. My maths was really good, so that didn't need much work. But all the other subjects I had to learn really from scratch. So I was really just beginning the second chapter of my education when I was 14.
Yeah. And so actually something similar happened to me. So again, I went to a school where, Urdu is spoken, like the main language here in Pakistan. And from then when I switched to this private school, and it was an English speaking private school, I actually was not fluent in English. And this is back when I was like a second grader. So it was so hard for me because like all the people there spoke in English. I did not understand that because they were just speaking very fluently and the whole flow of it, and I felt very left out. And I remember I started watching English shows and I tried speaking, and I think just learning English as a second language teaches a lot. And then at this point in time, I think like I can speak good English. So that's definitely an achievement. And I think it's also the change of environment, because for you it was a big shift from Gujarat, India to the UK. But so how were you when you were a teenager? Because that's one of my main questions. Because I'm always very curious. I'm almost 15. So how were you when you were almost 15?
I was I was studious, and I had to be in order to catch up with all the things that I had to. I love to play cricket and football. I wasn't very good at football, but cricket was not too bad. Uh, what else? I enjoyed being with lots of people and friends and going out and doing the things that in those days in the 70s what teenagers did, which is to hang out in town, where lots of activities are going on. Sometime going to nightclub just as a trial, but sometime, if you enjoyed it, maybe go there again. But really, it was really innocent fun
Yeah.
most of the time.
And I think that's really it's really changed. Just the idea of having fun as a teenager is pretty much changed because like my dad was raised in the 80s. So from the 80s here in Pakistan, like it's changed a lot to like right now. Because our idea of fun is literally just going out and you're still on your phones. And yeah, that's our idea of fun. But that time the idea of fun was more like going out watching a movie together, and again there were no phones, so like that was definitely you were more in the moment and actually really having fun. So yeah, and how exactly did you decide on what you wanted to be? Because you said you were a studious person, so was it a thing where no, I really want to be into environment, or did you not have like be a doctor and like be you are a
I,
doctor but be be
I
a
had,
cool profession? Yeah.
yeah, I had absolutely no idea what I wanted to do. There's always a pressure on on students of your age to say, oh, they normally ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? Well, how should you know? Because you don't know all the variety. There are a million shades of jobs out there. And it's unfair to pigeonhole somebody like you, maybe not you, because I think you seem to know where you're going, but people in your age category, um, because you can change. Your thinking may change as you look at different professions. Your options might change, but also it's got to be dependent on what you would really like to do, not only for yourself, for your family, for your community, but sometime for the world as well. I must say I didn't think too much about the world at the time, but I did want to do something that was really interesting, technical, and so on. So, what happened was when I was in my 2 years from university year, so, the penultimate final year before you go to university, somebody called Dr. Bott from Birmingham University in the UK had come around to talk to us about chemical engineering. And I must say, I hadn't thought of any profession or any engineering lines, but chemical engineering sounded really, really good. And I was really good at maths, physics, and chemistry, and those were the three subjects that one needed to do chemical engineering. So I opted for chemical engineering just for that reason.
Yeah. I mean that's really interesting because I think I really agree with you when you say, like people my age, it's really hard for, them to really pick up hot because they don't know a lot of it. For me, I started networking when I was 10, and I met so many people that were in so many different professions. And I would meet a social entrepreneur and I went like, hey, that is something that I like. Or I met someone that was in education, I was like, hey, that's something I like. So I think the more people that you meet in these professions, the more experts, and the more sort of you see how everything plays out, um, the more you're familiar with it, and then that really influences your choice and your decision when you go into a certain profession. So, how from chemical engineering, how was the switch from that to becoming an environmental consultant?
Yes. Um, well, after I did my chemical engineering, I did advanced chemical engineering, and then through PhD, I converted to biological sciences somewhat. So I studied bioethanol fermentation. This is the replacement fuel that Brazil and in the US and some of the European countries are looking at. So I looked at that as a process, but at the same time, I also looked at the biogas technology, which you may be familiar with, where you take waste and produce methane and carbon dioxide from it as a fuel gas. So I studied those two processes, but I also looked at it from the process and economics and calculating price per ton of materials and so on. So I looked at the entirety of the process from taking the crops, putting them through an industrial plant, producing bioethanol, biogas, cleaning those outputs as well, and then also looking at the economics of the whole processing cycle as well. So I think it was through my PhD that I really picked up interest in this area. And since then, the kind of work I've done can be called biochemical engineering or biorenewables.
And I mean that's really interesting. So like right now, I really want to know what is it like that you do. So to say like what is part of your job? So do you spread the awareness of sustainability and the importance of sustainability, or being a consultant, do companies like consult with you? Is like what we're doing, is it sustainable? Is it good for the environment? So what exactly is it that's part of your job?
There's a variety of jobs I'm involved in as a consultant. I worked for a major consultancy company called AEA Technology. They're now called Ricardo. Uh, but in 2011, I left them to set up my own company, which is the Economic and Human Value Engineering Limited. So I've been part of that since 2011. And in that, I have done and I'm currently doing a variety of consultancy assignments. So as you said, some projects are really about advising companies to take on the best technologies that will stand them in good stead as far as climate change is concerned, sustainability is concerned, also cost engineering. So you don't want to have to pay more than you so optimization of process, which is the but something I've added to that is what's called the human value engineering as well. So what that relates to is going into deeper, not just the costs, but to ask, well, is the final product or the way you produce it, is it going to be in health and safety friendly manner, but also going back and saying if the raw materials you're using, are those actually sound for the environment? Are they resourced from a good land management, for instance? If you're extracting or using any chemicals, are they coming from sound sources? So you can see that you can actually not only apply economics, but also health, safety, environment, ecological, and all the other aspects that relate to us as human beings. At the end of the day, we work to better ourselves, but we also have to look after the environment and the ecology as well. So it brings in all of those issues into the type of advice I give.
Yeah, that's really great. Um, and one more thing. So, like right now, do you see young people that are also getting into consulting, or do we need more young people that are coming in into consulting?
Definitely, definitely. The the more younger people comes into engineering and consultancy environment, the better. Because one of the things that we face, and I face that particularly with the older generation consultants, is that they are very much banking on the things that they knew 30, 40 years ago, and
Mhm.
they're not learning new techniques or new ways of doing things. And the technology has moved on, the environmental issues have moved on. So, and what I find is that whenever I have a younger person in the team, because I also form teams with other consultants as well. Whenever there are youngsters, that I find that they bring a real, what's the best way? A very enthusiastic approach, but also a very deep approach to protecting the environment and the ecology. And I find that really, really interesting.
Yeah, because I think the more young people that get into all of this, it's really important because for us, I think the perspective really matters because again, through generations, perspectives change. And now that we're saying, okay, the youth needs a say at the table and a place at the table with like so many decisions that are being made right now, I think environmental consultancy is one of those fields that the youth really actively needs to be part of and needs to understand. So yeah, thank you so much for being on here. It was a pleasure having you on. And what is the message that you'd like to give at the end to all the people that are listening?
Um, I think the message that I would like to give to the youngsters is to come forth and participate in the real debate that is happening at the international stage on climate change, ecological issues, um, and also how to tackle them. And there are lots of books. I did have some earlier, but I haven't got them at the moment. But there are so many books that actually provide solutions, innovative solutions. And I think the more we have youngsters going into those fields, sooner the better, and with as much enthusiasm and knowledge as possible. So I would really like to encourage people like yourself to come into that arena. You're already doing it, and having seen your profile, Raheen, you're doing a wonderful job, and I think you're encouraging a lot of people as well. So thank you for that as well, and I'm sure lots of people join as a result of your work.
Yeah, thank you so much. Actually, I want to study sustainable businesses. So that's what I really want to study, and I want to continue is to have my own sustainable business and to support others to be able to do the same. And where are you most reachable? Where's the best place to reach out if someone wants?
Sure, they can contact me by LinkedIn or through my emails. And you have the one, prabodh.mistry@gmail.com. That is probably the easiest one to remember. My alternative email address is prabodh.mistry@ehv-engineering.com. So either one will actually get to me. And, I'm open to helping youngsters like you. So very happy to help.
Yeah, thank you so much for both for being on, and thank you so much everyone for watching. And I'll keep on bringing special guests like him and spreading the awareness about the important things in the world. Thank you so much.